Just up getting back from work now. Cash in a pocket, but it feels like we're selling.
Welcome back to Hollywood, New Jersey.
What have you been up to this week, Rocco?
I had a birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
So that was something. Saw Superman again with my wife. Like, she didn't watch it the first time. I was like, all right, we're gonna watch it. And that was on the first episode. I was like, she wouldn't watch the podcast without watching the movie. So we're gonna watch the fucking movie. And then
That's why you didn't see Nate. Yeah.
there you go. That's part of it. Also I went to Holston's Diner, which was like in the end of the Sopranos. So like I went there and I went to the booth where like they all sat, which was pretty fucking cool.
You think you made it?
I mean,
That you like survived that diner.
no, it's good. Yeah, spoilers. I was
That
trying,
deadpan there, I wasn't expecting.
I was trying not to. It was cool though, because like that's basically what New Jersey had with filmmaking for the longest time. Sopranos, like the Bada Bing is literally 20 minutes away from my house. Was called Satin Dolls.
Satin Dolls, yeah.
And my fun fact: my grandmother was actually going to be the body replacement for Olivia. Like when she died in real life, they had to like put a digital head on a body, and like they basically were like, "Oh, we'll pick her." And my grandfather was like, "Oh, you're not going to be an actress." And I was like, "She can't fucking act. That doesn't make sense." And they just wanted her for like one scene, so we could have had that. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Good. It was that and Jersey Shore we had for the longest time. We were only proud of Sopranos, so
Should I tell my Soprano story? You guys know it already.
Go ahead.
sure. But I don't think we remember it.
Oh.
I'll say so much shit. Too.
I do say a lot of shit. All right, so here's Cupo's Soprano story. So I'm doing some work at MTV at the time, and I get a phone call. We still had a answering device called an answering machine, and it's my mom like, Anthony, HBO was here, called me right away. And so I'm like, oh wow, HBO is over my mom's house. I don't know why. So I called my mom like, they're going to make a comedy show about Italians. A scout was, asked me if we were interested, and I said yes. But you said no, right? And she hung up on me. She's like, I'm very upset that I said that, so I have to call it back. All right, Mom, what's going on? Yeah, they're gonna come by next week, and I told them all about your film Goomba, which was my thesis film, and so this is gonna be really good for you. So you have to come by when they come over. So. A week later, the house is abuzz. Like David Chase is in my mom's kitchen. She's making him pasta visual, and they're going through just what the concepts of like what they want the location for. What happened was I forgot the scout's name, but he was actually in the cemetery. This is of course for season 1, and he's looking through the cemetery gate, which is where on the other side of me is where my mom's house was. So fast forward, they're in the kitchen, and one of the producers sits in my mom's easy chair. She's like, "Hey, this would be a really good pussy chair." And that's when my mom finally says, "What kind of a show is this?"
How do I get in?
Yeah.
How do I get in this pussy show? That's fucking cool.
And what's weird is Pussy, played by
Vincent
Pascore,
Yeah, there you go.
was supposed to be the godfather in my thesis film, and he bailed out at the last second.
He's like, what are you, a big pussy? What are you doing, my fucking Goomba movie?
And to be in the Jerky Boys film. So I never had. So I had like no money. I booked a hall. I had like my family and friends, and he canceled the night before.
It's like, get paid this fucking guy.
Well, he chose to get paid, and so I was like, fuck this guy and all this other shit. So, fast forward a couple of years later, he's sitting in my mom's kitchen shooting those scenes. And so, yeah, that's my Soprano story.
That's right.
So it turned out to be Pussy's house and Tony Soprano's master bathroom. They used my mom's bathroom for that. So it's a weird continuity thing. So
when they went back in like season 2, did they shoot there again, or was that a different house?
So season 2, so they were trying to duck using the same location because I think they were at Silver Cup or wherever they were shooting. So they tried to recreate my sister's bedroom, but my sister at the time, her the bedroom was like really high end. They're like, fuck it. So they wound up coming back and shooting. So for 2 years. Now, what was interesting is season 1, all the stars, Stevens and Gandolfini, everybody had basically one star wagon. Season 2, the block, which was a dead end street, was lined with each person had their own wagon. So it's
Pretty sick.
so anyway, that's the Sopranos story. So I was at the beginning, and you sat in the booth where it all kind
Is that the actual booth you sat in?
So I think they sold the actual booth at one point to make money, but it's in the same place and it has the jukebox and it says reserved for Tony Soprano. And like I had to get the picture. Like somebody
Oh, like they removed it,
Yeah.
just added another one.
I think they like replaced it with like another one. Like this was the actual one and they replaced it with a new one.
from all the blood from the
Yeah,
you know,
like,
what you saw was they
Yeah,
actually
its blood was or maybe it didn't. And then someone was eating there and I was like, oh fuck, I need to get that picture. And as soon as they left, I'm like, all right, take a picture. And you remember when we were doing that car show thing? We met the guy Furio.
Hmm.
The fucking
We did meet Furio.
yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Manny? What about Sopranos memories do you have?
I just can't believe that we've known Coop for like 10 years and we've never heard that story.
There's no fucking way you told us that story. I would have brought it up every time I met you.
I'm gonna cut this out, but to me, it's you've never seen Sopranos.
Nope.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna cut that
Okay.
out because that's hilarious.
That's amazing.
Don't keep that in. That's why
that's the irony. Yeah. 5 episodes. I'm saying.
you're
Yeah, I've watched bits and pieces of it.
What?
I tried to.
Fuck these guys. Jersey, what? Anything interesting this week?
Did you do anything?
No, I'm just trying to crack away at the massive amounts of edits for Chase Run.
You ignored my text messages per usual, or at least didn't reply for many days.
He's like, I cut you out of the chase run. Might as well cut you out of fucking listening to you.
Kept you out of my life.
All text messages.
Back to this guy not responding, especially when I feel like he's going to respond and he's going to give me an answer because it's an important question. And I'm like, I'm going to reply to this right now because Manny needs an answer too. No.
What was the question?
Yeah. Who cares at this point? You obviously didn't fucking care.
It's the point that you think it means better that you actually read it. We sent it and you're like, okay. And I go back.
Well, I didn't reply to filming at 11 o'clock and I'm here. So
Well, we're used to that part.
You were here at 11 o'clock. Maybe a thumbs up would make me would have assured me a little bit more.
you guys could have filmed without me.
Coop gave a thumbs up. He was here before.
Well, I watched Magazine Dreams, that movie with Jonathan Majors that was filmed 2 years ago or something, and then they shelved it because of all the circumstances that were around him and his former relationship.
Yeah.
It's like Whiplash meets The Joker meets The Wrestler.
I heard him describe it and I'm depressed.
It is so depressing.
Oh, wow.
But his performance is so good. So despite what we know or believe or whatever about Jonathan Majors currently, in the past, what's been proven, whatever there's evidence against or not, this motherfucker is an actor, man.
Yeah.
I was so taken aback by this performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like the subtleties and facial movements and stuff that like he was able to do in the most uncomfortable ways and moments that you felt so fucking bad for someone where I don't know, honestly, like I didn't even read enough reviews afterwards. Like, I don't know if the idea was to say that the trauma that the character experienced in his film was also attached to his possible, I don't know. Sometimes it seems like maybe he's a little bit like spectrum special, a little bit like autistic in the film.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this back and forth. So he does these things where you're like, oh, maybe there's something loose there. But they're trying to tie everything to trauma. So it's really hard to tell. So Magazine Dreams, without reading it, is about a young man who's obsessed with bodybuilding. And he wants to be the next Mr. Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
And he writes to his famous bodybuilder, who's super famous. So akin to like Arnold Schwarzenegger, writes letters. And it's around 2008, 2009.
Yeah, I think so.
They had like mishmash years together because it's in the 2000s and YouTube is kind of early.
Okay.
And he does his version of streaming, but he's got a little bit of a speech impediment. When he talks to people about like eating and stuff, he's just like, like don't eat that, it'll make you fat.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Bread makes you fat.
Whoa, right?
No, why would I get fat?
Bread makes you fat.
Bread makes you fat?
You start to learn about his trauma because he goes on a date with someone, and in the middle of the date, she's like, I told my dad about you. And they both chuckle about it, and they're like, oh my God, how it's so embarrassing. It's like, I told my dad about you too. And she's like, no, you didn't. Because now my dad's dead. And she starts laughing because she thinks it's a joke. And he's still laughing because you think it's a joke too. And then he's like, and my mom's dead. And he's like, and my dad killed my mom. That's why they're both dead. And the waitress comes and he's like, I'll take 2 steaks, 6 grilled chickens, a salad, a salmon with no sugar, just this fucking massive order. And she's like, I'll take a shrimp salad. And he goes, sorry, I shouldn't tell you that. I get nervous. And you're like, oh, maybe he's normal. He just gets nervous. And it just gets worse, like worse and
You're
worse.
actually selling me on watching the film.
It's
Shrimp salad at a diner.
Yeah, well,
His order sounds like reasonable.
now
I need the salmon.
the journey of this character, of this guy, it really reminds me a lot of the movie The Wrestler, where like
yeah, I was getting
he knows what he's doing and pumping into his body to be
this
this thing is
specimen.
killing him, essentially, is bad for him. But because all he wants is like human connection, and you know that he has no connection other than his pop-up, his grandpa, who he takes care of.
Right. Who's the director of this film?
His name is Elijah Bynum. Elijah Bynum. So
Okay.
Elijah Bynum. And man looks after his ailing grandfather while trying to make it in the world of professional bodybuilding.
Mhm.
So the cool thing is that it has you guys know the song Stand by Eminem? Where the guy's writing all the time. That's what it feels like. It feels like the song was turned into a movie. Because throughout the movie, you hear him writing letters to the bodybuilder. And you're like, oh, that's what's going to happen. He's going to meet this bodybuilder.
Right.
And it kind of happens. So here's the problem with the film for me is that it has like 6 endings. Every fucking time you think there's an ending, it just keeps going. It just keeps, there's something else.
Right.
There's a weird redemption kind of thing that they're trying to do, but I think he just didn't know how to end it. It is a fucked up movie.
Did he actually write it, the director,
I
or
think so. Yeah. Written by him, Elijah Bynum. So he wrote it too. And everybody in the film, even if they have a couple minutes, gives like a fucking amazing performance. It's just like, there's no like throwaway parts.
Well, to counter that, I finally watched Thunderbolts.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. Which Don again has talked about, that or was
Haven't watched it.
having on.
I really liked it. Especially after Brave New World. I was like, oh, it's a movie.
Yeah, I liked it better than Brave New World. I feel like it would have been a more successful Marvel, like Falcon and Winter Soldier series, opposed to a 2-hour film where I feel like, again, I think our bar is higher now where it's like, especially now with like Superman and Fantastic
Why do you think
Four,
the bar's higher?
because
Because the general answer is audiences are smarter.
yeah, I
Right.
feel like we know what A stories are and B stories, and
In filmmaking and screenwriting, the A story and B story are shorthand for 2 or more interwoven narrative threads in a screenplay. The A story, the main plot, is the primary narrative of the film. It's what the movie is about. And the B story is the narrative that runs alongside the A story. The B story, known as the subplot, gives the audience a breather from the main conflict while deepening the stakes.
this was a really great B story leading up to them becoming like the new Avengers.
So according to Damon Lindelof, what does he say?
Oh, yeah, we should just take whatever we want. It's like you pay $80 for your popcorn and just shut the fuck up and enjoy the movie.
He's just basically saying like, we're expecting too much. We should go in and just be entertained.
we're getting a lot more. The more that movies are a thing and also TV is a thing, we're getting more of it. So the likelihood of us getting just like it's gonna always be like a percentage game. If 10 movies release in a year 4 years ago, one of them is going to be good. If I don't know, 100 to 200 movies release in this past year, it's still gonna it's gonna be a percentage game because making a movie is really difficult. There's a reason why, and also like the credits. How many friggin' people are working on this? Which means how many hands does it go through, and then how possible is it for like just something to fail? Like how many times have we seen stories about a movie and it's like a miracle that the movie even got made, let alone is good? Like you guys always talk about that terrible time travel movie. What's it called?
It's not terrible. Don't say that.
Movies
We're talking about the best fucking movie ever made, Back to the
Are
Future.
you fucking serious? What happened to my DeLorean will kill you.
Anyway, that whole
Why is it on this show?
that whole process of that movie.
Whose fucking cousin are you? How the fuck did you get? I don't care whose cousin you are, you fucking god.
I'm glad that Thunderbolts was good though, because like I'm like boycotting it because like I've read like Thunderbolts and Thunderbolts without like Norman Osborn and like without going into like the Dark Avengers is just so sad.
Yeah.
but
It's a name.
it's like Civil War too. Civil War was a good movie.
What do you mean
But
sad?
it's-
Sad in storytelling or
No,
sad
sad
that
is
it's fucked up?
there's just
stupid?
so much more that you could do with it,
okay.
knowing
It's not a
having
having
a
movie,
stat-
really.
yeah, and like having established characters that are trying to like for example, Norman Osborn takes all these actual villains and turns them into quote unquote heroes. It's kind of like Suicide Squad, but the Marvel version. And like the question is like, is he actually doing good or is he secretly still the Green Goblin? And like there's this kind of like you wonder if he's actually doing good or not. And then when it gets to the point where he gets in charge of like Shield and turns it into Hammer and the Avengers become the Dark Avengers, but they're known as the Avengers, has fucking Wolverine's son in it, and Wolverine's son like doesn't even care about being an Avenger. He just wants to piss off his dad. Like all this stuff that builds up to that, you can't do that with just
In a 2-hour.
well, yeah, but they haven't built
Well,
up, 40 years of comics to be
Right.
able to pull
Well,
from that.
let me get
you know?
this point in because you've brought up Jonathan Majors, and again, what he did is like horrible, but it's also
Allegedly.
is he allegedly, and so hopefully he has his own like path that he has to follow. But in the guise of Loki, they did Loki season 1 is so amazing. Oh my god,
It is.
it was able to build Kang. And so now you built all this up, and now they have to throw all that out and go into. But my point is now with Thunderbolts, it's like to your point, we could have explored some of those relationships even more, and so
Even having like Sentry, like introducing Sentry in this movie instead of having him be part, like in the where they bring Sentry in to eventually get into the Thunderbolts. It's like a new Avengers run where he joins the new Avengers with like Captain America and Wolverine, Spider-Man and shit. And it eventually gets to the point where Norman Osborn and the Thunderbolts become the new Avengers and they bring Sentry on. So it's like this, like basically the good guys are dealing with Sentry leading up to him eventually like kind of becoming like maybe a villain or not. And like the question always is like he's like, should they have him on the team because he's so potentially can just turn into like an evil Superman and just destroy everything?
yeah. So I definitely you need to watch it.
I think the problem with the Thunderbolts actually isn't in the movie. Because if you watch the movie from beginning to end, it's pretty solid. And that guy, even though the box office wasn't great, they're giving him X-Men. They trust him.
Yeah.
So it's really because after Endgame, they had a rebuild. So they started doing like Disney Plus shows. That movie is like the Disney Plus Avengers because it's a sequel to Bucky, like what is Winter Soldier and Falcon, because that's where they set up US Agent. It has one of the villains from Ant-Man 2, which people probably didn't watch. It has, it's literally a sequel to Black Widow, which went to streaming. So you have
Right.
you have like Yelena, you have her father, you have
Who the
Taskmaster.
Master all that?
So I'm saying
Yeah,
it's the Avengers for those things. So if you didn't watch the TV shows and you're just watching the movie, you're like, who the fuck are these people? So I feel like they thought more people were going to actually watch the shows. But it's a good movie from beginning to end where you're just
It
like,
looked like it.
because it's really about like depression and fuck. It's like, oh, we're actually, there's a theme.
Yeah.
There's like a fucking character stuff. Like Brave New World is just like fucking everything's everywhere. But even there's the other thing online now where they talk about like, all the themes of the superhero movies for this year. So it's like Thunderbolts, it's like You're Not Alone, Superman, Kindness is the New Punk Rock, Be Kind, and Fantastic Four, it's like Care About Your Family. They never mentioned Captain America. It's just like Punch the President. I don't know what the fuck. There's no like theme.
And then with Captain America, it's like all this build up. Indiana Jones hulks out for about 5 seconds, and then the film's over.
Yeah. Well, they also set that up for failure because, like, not killing Captain America to then have someone take over the mantle of Captain America is like the reason why you were okay with a new Captain America in the comics. Because, like, you Captain America dies at the end of Civil War,
Yeah.
and no one wants to pick up the mantle because no one wants to like replace him. So it's kind of like more of a good buildup as opposed to like, yes, it's good that he gets his happy ending going back in time or whatever. But like at the same time, if you were going to try to pass the mantle off, you it's more interesting to have no one actually pass the mantle off and it being like, who's going to take the shield, who's going to be reluctant to take the shield, all that kind of stuff.
Is Sam Wilson like, does he have super soldier serum in the comics? Because like that's half of the movie where it's like, oh no, I don't have the serum. I can't defeat him. It's like, take the serum or shut the fuck up about it. Like,
Well, after Civil War, they do like a run of like, there's like a little mini series called The Death of Captain America, and it's all about like trying to find out who assassinated him.
yeah.
The end of Civil War is him basically winning. Like his side is winning, and he sees like people like kind of like just bystanders seeing Iron Man and Captain America fighting, and Iron Man is like getting his ass beat. And he just like looks up at the people and he's like, what are we doing? And he just like gives himself up, even though everyone's like, no, we were winning. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, but this is not right. So he gives himself in, lets the Avenger Initiative like arrest him. And as he's being like hauled into, I don't know, some type of like,
He gets like shot,
or
right? Doesn't
yeah, he gets like assassinated. So like the whole Death of the Captain America like arc is Bucky trying to figure out like who killed Captain America. And it's like him and Black Widow trying to like, uncover the mystery. And like there's even moments where like he has to meet up with Iron Man, who like he blames for Captain America's death, and like Iron Man tries to give him the shield and he's like kind of reluctant to take it. But like it's this whole like buildup of like Bucky somehow eventually becoming the new Captain America, but not like wanting to take it essentially. But it's all it's all set up by the death of Captain America, which they end up bringing fucking back stupidly because he was stuck in time or some stupid shit. They always do that, but whatever. That's why I just feel like if you don't kill Captain America, you can never make like a good passing of the mantle. Having him it was a sweet ending in, what was it, Endgame?
Yeah.
It was a sweet ending in Endgame, but then like that kind of screws up continuing it on unless you just kind of forget it.
I don't know if I agree with all of that. I feel like it was a sweet ending for people who aren't as familiar with the comics as you are, for example. So for me, I feel like it was okay. They passed the torch. I feel like they went. They covered when Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was the plot device. Is like, you're a black man who's Captain America. Are you worthy? And all this other stuff. We learned the history of the super soldier serum. And I think they revisited the whole thing again in Brave New World. Like, we've seen this plot line on TV for free.
Yeah, that was
my
Never
problem.
seen Winter Soldier or the
like Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I never saw that or
Right.
Brave New World.
That's the problem. You either got to be like, okay, they saw the TV show, we don't have to reference it, or don't do the TV show and just do it in the movie. And they're doing both.
And
It's like,
right. And so my things were, they were beating a dead horse. And again, it's like, how many times does Sam have to prove like, yes, I'm a black man, but I'm now Captain America. Here's the segue point. Speaking of superheroes, isn't that you're wearing a shirt today?
oh, good.
Sometimes he doesn't.
Sometimes I don't.
What's on your shirt, Rocco?
This is Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello, Michelangelo.
Famous painters.
Famous painters, yeah.
Oh, all right. Next.
Next time.
Read your history book, kids. The famous painters were actually turtles back. It's whenever those.
That's not even true at all. Like,
It got me thinking, it's the 35th anniversary of the Ninja Turtles movie, and I was thinking about, like, I've seen it online before, whenever there's like a group of 4 people, you're like, why the fuck are they hanging out? And it always kind of goes back to the Ninja Turtle things, like Seinfeld, there's always like the 4, you got the goof, you got the asshole, you got the neurotic one, you got the one that kind of keeps it together. Like Sex and the City, the same thing. Ninja Turtles is like the one that I always think of. And when I see us, I kind of think about that. I'm the fucking asshole that's taking me seriously. He's always pissed about something. You're always nerdy about something. And he's always like, guys, shut the fuck up, let's do it. So that's what it reminded me of. And, I think everyone's 2 Ninja Turtles. I feel like you're Donatello, but you're also Leo because you always want to do like the order stuff. I feel like I'm also neurotic about shit. Same thing with him. And John's all for him because he's fucking weird. He's like GianCarlo's like Superman. Like he hangs out with the mortals not because he has to, because like it's kind of fun.
You know, to that, Rocco gave me the biggest compliment and also the biggest knife in my heart, that all at the same time.
Sounds like me.
Right after Kingsley was born, maybe a year, and he was hanging out. He was over. We're just hanging out. We're just bullshitting or something. And I was like, "Hey man, just hang out. I gotta give the kid a bath before my wife gets home, and he's covered in fucking mac and cheese or whatever I had fed him. It wasn't mac and cheese, babe. And
You guys also weren't married yet.
I wasn't.
Sinners.
Sinners. I'm in the middle of giving him a bath, and I had to sit down. I had I guess it was a panic attack, like an anxiety attack, something that I've never.
Shit, I'm gonna have to take care of this kid for the rest of his life.
Kind of. That's what I forgot.
Something that I'd never experienced before. And I'm like, yo, like I'm telling him, like trying to tell him, but I'm trying to get the baby out. So I get him out, like changed. And then I'm like, I couldn't even talk. Remember? Like I couldn't
Yeah, I
even,
remember. Yeah.
couldn't even talk. And he's like, what do you want me to do? What do you want? And I didn't know what was wrong. Like my heart rate was going, like everything was going
Do I
nuts.
slap you?
When I started sucking his dick, he's like, yo, keep going, but it's not it. It's not help.
Got that part out, you fucking idiot. So I'm freaking out, and Ashley calls my phone, and I give it to him to pick it up. Now, if you've ever heard my wife like be assertive, it might I think you know from slamming the door in the house, like you know how upset she could get or sound. But
That was for our art.
You told us to do it.
You
Like,
left
what-
us alone in your house at 10 o'clock. We were filming
You have
something.
Coop in charge. What the fuck do you
Yeah.
think was going to happen?
We had to slam that door like what, 25 times? Yeah, perfect take. I think we used the first take, but she doesn't need to know that.
Right? Comes out, I could have used ADR.
we couldn't just do it in reverse. We couldn't just open.
Right.
So
We learned.
anyway,
Yeah.
fucking, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
She calls, he answers the phone, and she's like, Rocco, why are you picking up his phone? He's like, something's wrong with him. He can't talk. And she goes, the fuck, put him on the phone. And Rocco's like, he's here. Where's the baby? The baby's here. It's just, there's something wrong with him. And she's like, put him on the phone. He's like, I can't put her on the Rocco, put him on the phone. So then he like gives me the phone, and she's like, hello? And it's like, then I'm like, she's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I couldn't like verbalize it. I don't know what was up. And then finally I was like, I don't know, I think I'm having like an anxiety or a panic attack. She's like, I'll be right there. She was leaving work. So she's driving there. It's probably a half hour away. Like 15 minutes after, I start chilling out. And he's like, you all right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, it was weird, man. It's like watching Superman bleed. So I was like, oh, how sweet. My friend called me Superman. At the same time, he just said, I didn't know Superman could also be a pussy.
Yeah.
You know? But it was like one of like the
Shit.
craziest things that
Shit, I ate all that kryptonite. This is a bad.
But you're clearly an alien from another planet.
I also did feel like he wanted to snap my neck a couple times. So it really is Superman.
But no, I just never experienced that. So, but the fact that like when it was all said and done, he wanted to make me laugh. And he was like, dude, it was just kind of weird. It was sad. I was like watching Superman bleed, and then out of nowhere, then you were better. And I was like, yeah, I can't
And
explain it.
Zack Snyder was somewhere, was like, that's a perfect line. And before we move on, can you fix your mic?
So yeah, so all four of them, great.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, what's turtle?
Doing this turtle.
So
Well, he was talking about our personality types and how like we all got together, and in terms of the way this movie kind of breaks down, we were talking about like how we came up with 28, and then we were going to ask you about like how the story for Concussion came together as well. But in terms of structure, when we were writing 28, we looked at older movies like Ninja Turtles, right? For like structure, for inspiration, for just ideas for story. And as much as there's people now who go like, if you watch that old movie, it sucks, and it's just nostalgia bait, which I think is totally wrong.
they also can't say anything else about it because they can't be like, this is sexist. No, it's not. It's four turtles eating pizza. Next, it's antiquated. You're like, all right.
Antiquated, but just going into like, so why Ninja Turtles for you guys? In other words, like you said, there's a bunch of other films of that time. Was it something that was the movie that came out the right time for you guys, where like it was like for me, obviously, you know, I'm a little bit older, a little bit, but it's like literally like
Day,
it's like back in my day, like
Charlie Chaplin movies.
exactly, like Harold Lloyd is really underrated. No, but like why Ninja Turtles? Like was that
It was one of them, but the idea of a group of dudes like working together and
Also, they're unconventional superheroes.
Right.
They're guys that are just, kind of like Ghostbusters, where it's like, all right, I guess we have to save the day. That's kind of what we were going for when we did 20.
and if you're gonna believe they're Ninja Turtles fighting crime, why not two guys that got
Yeah.
fired from a porn shop that
Right.
could fight crime? So it was kind of just picking our moments for suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
how
they're
we could ground
exactly
things.
like someone that's been raised by a rat that knows kung fu, that teaches these teenage turtles
Yeah.
kung fu.
Yeah.
a
Same exact experience as working in a porn
Yeah.
shop.
I'm
One
glad.
on one.
I'm glad.
Right?
I'm glad Drax the Destroyer decided to fucking show
Yeah,
up.
I showed up late
You-
on
you mean-
28, so
you mean a kung fu master that's been turned into a rat
well, yeah.
that
no,
speaks
no. At least in the way that they do it in the movie, it's him being a rat.
oh he's
Right,
observing
right,
he's observing right.
Some
Master,
master, and then Shredder kills that master.
Yeah.
And then somehow he gets mutated. Does he get mutated after that? That's
No,
weird.
he goes to the turtles, and then the mutagen. So when the turtles get like fucking oozed up, he goes by him and he gets on him.
But we have to believe that a rat can learn kung fu before it was mutated.
Well, here's another interesting fact.
Genius.
It's tied into Daredevil. So like what in comics, Daredevil, when Matt Murdock gets like the fucking stuff thrown in his face, it's like a canister, and he has to fight like the Hand. That's like the ninja organization. So when they made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was kind of a parody. So they have a guy getting hit in the face with the canister, and it rolls into the sewer, and it goes on them, and then they fight the Foot. So they're all kind of, it's a stupid idea. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nothing should work in that, and it does. I think that's what draws to it. It's like those movies where like Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's about transvestites that are aliens, and they sing and they kill people, and you're like, no one's watched this fucking movie.
green light
40 years later. That's how you get magic. So I think that's probably why we also give us an opportunity to like break for an hour and a half and be like, oh, talk about the fucking movie. So let's watch Ninja Turtles.
going to 28 all right that's cool like getting the backstory. So for 28 from a filmmaker standpoint, what were some other decisions that Yeah.
Well, we did a giveaway that helped us. It's 28 movies that influenced 28-minute epic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like some of them were like action movies and didn't quite. And there was one guy that was like, what does this have to do with 20? It's like, hey, shut up.
There's 28 free movies.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up, you ungrateful bitch.
She said, I didn't want this exactly. Fuck you.
Yeah. Actually, the guy who won was really
Yeah,
nice.
no,
Yeah.
Right.
We had a podcast.
It's just
He interviewed us.
It's just the point. It's the question where like I wasn't prepared for it, so I turned to anger. I was like, "Fuck you!" Because they didn't have any more movies.
For us, I think at that time, what was that movie that James Gunn made with Dwight?
Super.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because when we had what was it? We sent the trailer or the movie to doubletoasted.com.
Yeah.
And he was like, one of them was like, oh yeah, this is a really good short. I'm like, oh no, because it's called 28-minute epic, but it's a feature. We're bad at fucking naming movies, whatever. There's a documentary about it. But at the time, one of the hosts,
look at the show notes.
yeah, one of the hosts was like, yeah, it's in the show notes. Check it out.
Or in the description.
But one of the hosts, Martin, was like, yeah, like maybe it's like, it might have just been the trailer, but he's like, yeah, like Super was the movie that I liked this. So maybe this is like the good version, or like the bad version of Super, kind of. I was like, okay, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, those were I in terms of the movies that influenced us at that point.
Clerks.
Clerks for sure. I mean, Kick-Ass. I think the first Kick-Ass was already out, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, when I originally wrote it, it was like 2006. So like when you,
All right, so that's what happened. Rocco wrote a version in college, a short version, was supposed to be a 7-page thing.
yeah, it was supposed to be called 8-minute epic. And when I made it, it was 20 minutes, and I was like, no, it'll be 28-minute epic.
So he submitted it, and the professor essentially chewed Rocco out because it was like, you didn't follow the fucking directions.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to make a fucking 30-minute short film for your first short film or
Yeah.
second. I don't remember. And so I said to the professor, which I'm still pretty cool with, I said, it's really funny. Did you read it? Like, you should let him do it. And he's like, are you going to help him with it? And I was like, I am going to help him with it.
Help him. I'm going to beat the shit out of him with the chair and elbow drop him in it.
But, and Rocco will tell you this, like, he's a strong writer, but he's not a director, and he's not a...
So it was Bizarro World. So in the future, I was the Masked Avenger, the guy who becomes a superhero, and GianCarlo was directing. So it's flipped. GianCarlo is Masked Avenger, and I'm directing. And he's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. It's just say the dialogue. He's like...
So it's just him in a handy cam. And he's just kind of just doing this all the time. So it's 28 minutes of that, which I still found kind of endearing.
It has charm.
And fun. And like, it was funny.
What was the documentary, that footage?
We have the short too. We have the short. We'll share the share.
No. There's footage of the short in the documentary.
Yeah.
Probably just overlay clips.
Yeah, good idea.
We'll do that.
What you're talking about.
Well, when he presented it to the class, like the class was like fucking silent because they didn't know how to like respond to it. But the professor essentially was like, you're wasting your parents' money going to film school because you haven't learned anything like all semester. Like you didn't apply anything. And in terms of like the directing aspect and the cinematography aspect, he didn't. He just ignored it. It was just the writing. He just wanted to show like,
I was like, this is funny.
Jokes. And the jokes, even though they were lowbrow, I thought they were funny. So like for me, I'm like, there's something there. And we let it rest for like 4 or 5, 6 years.
Yeah. And the lady, right?
The lady. I was working at Apple.
It's a missing step in this.
Yeah.
There was one point where you're like, I could get us 50 grand for this movie.
Oh, that's right.
And my brain was like, okay, write this, write that. And I come up with like this gargantuan 240-page script. And John reads and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know.
So my former boss is the executive producer on all things Batman. He used to get people fucking contacting him all the time. And he essentially would be like, here's some emails, like respond to these people. Well, don't respond to these people. Tell these people that, whatever. That was one of my responsibilities early on before I became,
the greatest writer, filmmaker to ever grace planet Earth.
People would send stuff in and I was like, oh, this is good shit. So like, if it was really cool, I'd be like, look, this is cool. You should check it out. It's cool. No thanks. Like everything was no. Solicitation, right? Everything was no. So then I asked him one time, I was like, can I respond to this woman? Like, I'd like to talk to her. And he's like, go ahead. Just make sure it's not tied to what the fuck I'm doing. Like, don't make any promises. Cool. So I reached out to her. Really nice woman, had a company, a couple films. I basically tell her like, I can come and represent myself, but I can't represent the dude. Like he doesn't want anything to do with your project. He's got too much on his slate. We meet a couple times. She's like, I like this idea you have, this superhero idea. Cause I pitched it.
Okay.
So I tell Rocco I pitched it. And she's like, if we can get a draft, she'll give us 50 grand. So Rocco's like, okay, just hangs up the phone. And he sends me a 240-page.
I had no idea about structure. I just knew a movie began and ended. And I was like, okay, I think I could do this.
It's just post film school.
Because I spent film school talking to you going like, hey, so what do you think Batman would do? And Jason Todd came back and joking, you're like, shut the fuck up. I was like, yeah, pretty much.
I'm like trying to learn.
Into the cinematography class.
Learn like the history of film. And he's like,
Script structure,
do you think the Joker would use a toothpick or a pin to stab someone with AIDS?
The worst part is that you were like, I'm gonna keep talking to this fucking guy.
So he gave me this 240-page thing, and we eventually just lost touch with this lady. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I read it, and I go, "There's some funny stuff in here, but this is not going to work."
It was more of a parody movie. It wasn't really. It wasn't deep.
And he printed it. He printed the so it's just like this fucking
game of paper.
Yeah.
Which is died for.
Yeah. And like if you've seen his computer, just imagine a pile of 240 papers smushed together.
I was like, yeah, it's done. And they're like, yeah, it is. We can't do shit with this. I was like, and then that's when we sat on it for a while.
We sat on it for a while, and then like I said, all right, let's try to see if we can do this, and we did. We just kind of locked ourselves in my room and just kind of came up with the beats. And there was all these things we were looking at, and I was like, we're overcomplicating this. How do we simplify this? And that's when we came across like Blake Snyder's beat sheet, which, established writers will tell you like, don't look at Blake Snyder's thing, or you don't need this, it's all formulaic. When it comes to writing, you just want structure to get you started.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it provided us. There was 240 pages. How do we take 240 pages and give it structure? All right, let's try the Blake Snyder method. Eventually we went to Truby. Eventually then we went to fucking Joseph Campbell. But this really worked for us trying to figure out what we were doing. And we were able to get a 120-page script by just giving it structure. And then we cheated it, and cobbled shit together or whatever.
It's good to start off with
You-
structure.
you
You
ain't-
finish out after that.
You were chipping away at the granite to make the
Yeah, we rewrote a lot. And in terms of humor, I would say that we loved like fucking terrible sophomore humor, right? But also everything can't be a joke, right? So we're like, how do we imbue this with some sort of
Gotta give it a little bit of heart.
Heart.
There's gotta be a character arc there.
yeah.
Which is kind of like, I guess, Clerks and Superbad. That was kind of what we were patterning off, like the day of an adventure. And like, you have to like care about the character, but also care about like the actual what's going on. That's, I think, we were just been in a room
that's the
for,
tone you were going for.
well, just like the structure of like, it's a day in the life of these two guys. Like, how are they doing with it? And it was just basically a year of us yelling at each other. It was like, this is how you do it. Okay, this is how you do it. Blah, 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 blah. And your aunt falling down the fucking stairs.
Your handful fell down.
And I fell down the stairs.
Holy shit. So I just gotta tell this. So this one time I went to John's, we were gonna write, and I'm by the door, and I'm like, I'm here, and all I hear is boom, 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 boom. He opens the door. He fell down the fucking stairs while he's on the phone with somebody. And I'm just like, holy shit. He's like, do you need anything? He's like, I'll take an ice pack. And he's on the phone while he's talking to the person. I give him the ice pack. And then he just kind of like gets up and shakes it off. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That's how he started the day. He's like, all right, let's go make a fucking
And that's when you thought he was Superman.
With the fact that he got up, my ass would be on the ground.
All that to say, we wrote the script, and then we needed to do test footage. And we able to get my buddy Danny that I worked with at Apple to be our DP to film test footage.
Okay.
At this point, I'm like, we need music. And there was this fucking talent show at Apple, like for fun. And this fucking guy goes up there and does like a mishmash of songs while wearing a Spider-Man costume. And I'm like,
You're mixing the story, but all right, let's keep going.
I remember you had real big tits.
no, it was like one of those things where Apple gets us together and then like you came out from the back.
You're
and you
right.
saw
But I was not wearing a Spider-Man outfit.
Yes, you were. That one.
Yeah, you were. I remember.
I promise you.
Me
I
too.
was wearing a Spider-Man outfit when I did my clap out, which is another thing that Apple does, which is weird.
My story is better.
What's
So he's wearing a Spider-Man outfit.
Way.
He's wearing a Spider-Man outfit.
And he swung into the store.
And he starts and he starts
On
playing
guitar strand.
he starts playing a mishmash of songs. And Bieber was in there. I know that.
Mhm.
And that-
I had the Bieber haircuts.
Yeah.
They called me Bieber.
Yeah.
'Cause
So there were,
Menlo Park Apple Store was a bunch of bullies and John.
Yeah.
So
A bunch of
he was
bullies.
the king of the bullies.
and it was really good. It was like so good. And there was a lot of musicians at that store. Like a lot of people knew music.
Right.
And me and Manny had barely like ever talked, but he did this performance and I was like, holy fuck, like it stuck in my brain.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him and someone else about doing music and I invited them both over and they both like, I guess reluctantly accepted it because I've never really hung out with them.
That's not actually not how he asked me. I was
Weren't you the guy that put me in a locker?
yeah, on a treadmill and I'm like focused.
Oh, is that the
working
gym?
out, and he just jumps on the front of the treadmill. And he's like, "Do you want to make music for my movie?" And I'm like, "I guess." And then he just jumps off and starts doing like curls or something.
Were you dressed like Spider-Man when he did it?
No, he was dressed as Spider-Man.
Oh,
It flipped.
all right. Yeah.
So he shows up to my house. This other dude shows up too. I had no idea that him and this other dude didn't really vibe because we all worked together at Apple. I thought everybody kind of gelled.
Yeah.
No, but funny. We won't get into
Real
that.
life. Mm.
But they just didn't vibe. I didn't know that. I thought they're both musical. They're gonna get. It's like when a woman introduced you to like somebody else's husband, like your wife introduced you to her friend's husband, and like he likes sports. Go,
Yeah,
like that type of shit.
They didn't know each other before.
No, they did.
We did.
They just weren't friends.
Oh, okay.
That's the nicest way of saying that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I fucking sit them right next to each other, basically get them to cross dicks and be like, all right, guys,
Create.
this is my movie. And like, I show them the footage and the response was like really overwhelmingly positive. Manny excuses himself to go to the bathroom and the other guy who I'm still cool with was just like, this is really cool, man. Yeah, send it to me. We'll talk. And I'm cool. And he dips. And then Manny comes back and Manny's like, all right, I'm in. I think everything you made is really cool. It's amazing. I'd love to work on this. I don't really talk to that guy though. So like, is he real? Is he in? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, all right. And like, that's it. It's just me and Manny at that point.
Yeah, I was more concerned that he might not want to work with me.
Right.
What a power move. Like, that guy kind of sucks. You working with him? Not anymore, buddy.
He didn't speak anything ill of him. He was just like, I don't know if that guy's going to want to work with me or not.
That just said a lot that you're like, no, I want to work with you. So,
So
all right, that's cool.
I said, all right, are you in? Cool. And then we just like went on this like, you know, becoming really good friends kind of like journey of like, dude, I went to music school first. This is the stuff I listened to this. And we started creating this bond. And then it was about me forging Manny and Rocco together, which wasn't easy at first.
You basically were like, here's your new best friend. I'm like, fuck that guy. I don't know. You know, what, do you work at Apple with you? He probably wears a beanie and his glasses.
Because the character that you were playing in 28 was such not the type of person that I would want to be friends with, let's just say. I like projected that character onto you.
Yeah.
So I just assumed you were like, I mean, the pot smoking thing would have made us bond.
Go to sleep eating Cheetos.
Yeah, you were like this pot smoking guy who like basically was Randall from Clerks. And I'm like, I don't want to be friends with Randall from Clerks. I didn't want to be friends with Dante from Clerks. I want to hang out with Jay and Silent Bob. But anyway,
it's funny. I just always said that in front of me. I'd be like, I want to hang out with Jay and Silent Bob.
I like projected the character onto, and ironically, you're more like the other character in the movie. This like the main character, I guess the more main character.
The funny
Straight
thing,
man.
The funny thing is, the more we hung out without John, it's like fucking GianCarlo. Yeah, fucking GianCarlo. It's like we just become best friends. Yeah.
Well, it started getting to the point where I had to force them to do stuff without me. Like we had to like do shit, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, it started out with us doing all the post production at my house. So you were editing while I was like,
I just lived in his
Now,
basement.
yeah.
while this is going on, what are your day-to-day lives? Like, you were still working at the fruit store.
No, I quit my job at Apple and I took out the 401k money so that I could survive.
Right.
And
So you dedicated, like, this is it. This
Yeah.
guys, this film is going to work.
yeah, I was living with like a girlfriend at a time, and then that ended. I moved back with my mom, and I said like, I need to move back home, and I want to make a movie. And she's like, how long is that going to take?
No, I'm successful.
And I was like, I don't know. I said, I don't know, but I want to. She's like, well, what about money? And I'm like, I have money saved up, which I didn't, but it was the 401k money.
Right.
And so I took that out, and that essentially allowed me to survive. And I was like bartending, I was
Yeah.
like doing all
So you're gigging while this is going on.
gigging.
But my point is, this is your focus.
That's it.
Where a lot of
Singular
times
focus.
says, okay, how about you guys?
I was part-time at Apple at that point. Or
yeah.
I went to part-time at Apple to like work on this and try to do like freelancing after that.
Some like
It was not successful until it was.
some editing work. I did a couple internships that led to. I did an internship that led to another internship. Led to another internship. I was like, fuck it, let's just make the movie. Let's just do it because it really was a call to action. I was like, we gotta fucking make.
So what year did you guys start rolling?
2014.
2014.
Yes, it was May of 2014. Yeah,
And when did you wrap shooting?
November
Well,
2014.
37 days over 6 months,
37.
or 38 though, actually.
Now,
That's not my joke. So
again, I'm sure this is all covered in the documentary, but the short
the documentary.
calling in favors, you're getting locations either for free or you're running guns.
Mostly for free. Everything. We contacted the commission at that time, and they were responsive. And I think I even have an old email from Shoner, like basically
Yeah.
going like, yeah, we can help what you need, and like this is the way it works. And me going like, yeah, we can't do that. We have to just steal locations. But it was all based off favors. Even like how we started transactionally, I was like, I'll teach you film stuff, you teach me music stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how everything was working.
When you're
at that
going to
point.
teach him music stuff.
Oh, he has. We all have an album coming out. Don't worry.
Yeah, the way it started,
It's been coming out for the past like
It's still coming out.
the way we did it was
What's the name of the album? I got. There's got to be a quick title.
the name is "Fuck You, Man." You come by and sing music with me.
Well, every time we would work on music, Rocco would get upset.
Because I was like, "Can I join?" They're like, "No." And I was like, "All right."
Well, that was part. I don't think that was really you. He said you were wasting time on it.
Yeah, I don't think you asked to work on it. I think you were just upset that John was not doing film stuff.
Probably, yeah. And I was, it's like,
There's no way that you would have asked to work on stuff and me be like, no, this is our thing.
The only
No
stuff-
girls allowed.
the only stuff I do is like fucking joke comedy songs, which is what we do now. So yeah, the way we did it was like script, test footage, crowdfunder, only raised a little bit, hacked, did another one, raised less. Fuck it, let's do it. And then
We're committed to saying, like, if we're going to do a movie, we should just do it regardless of how much money we get. We make the money work. So it's,
Right.
Parkinson's law, like the allotted time, the allotted money, whatever you have to make it is what's going to allow you to make it. And that's what we did.
401k, part-time, you're gigging, and now you're in post. And so, quick overview again. It's all covered in the documentary, but
Quick overview was we were going to take our time for a year and try to see if we could fund and fix the movie.
Yeah.
And we
reach out
got
to some producers, maybe try to figure out where to take it.
what was the biggest thing after you done shooting? Like, this was wow, this came out way better than I thought, or holy Christ, we ruined the film.
No,
we didn't do this.
I was happy. The only thing that I felt that we really fucked up was like this big fighting scene, which we found a workaround
In the
for.
opening with that floating picture.
Oh yeah,
There's an establishing shot.
I could probably fix that now.
I know, but could you? Anyway, there's an establishing shot that goes through like the main character's like apartment, and there's like this one shot where it passes over an empty picture frame, and the DP at the time was very convinced that he could superimpose a picture
We could do
of
that
that.
easily.
He went to NYU.
I don't want to totally throw the blame on Danny because
He was convinced that he could do it, and both of you guys tried to do it in post, and every time it was this flying.
Well, he went to NYU, so we trusted him.
so the
He was like the new Gordon Willis.
yeah, like the plane of
Yeah.
it wouldn't catch. I think now
I got a feeling it's really funny, guys, because I wonder, I bet you would nail it now.
I think it'd be, and that makes me go, I want to do it. So yeah, we're done with the movie and we're going to take our time. We get an email from Gina Marie Rodriguez, who was heading the Westfield Broadway International Film
Yeah,
Festival at that time.
Yeah.
She saw clips that we were putting out online. And she's like, when's this movie going to be made? When's it done or whatever? And I said, oh, we're working on it. And she's like, can I see something? If so, we could put it into our festival. So we send her a cut. She sees it and she's like, we could use this for the opening night. It's like basically a hometown indie feature for the opening night. And I was like, if you do that, we could sell it out, which not knowing that we could or couldn't, but I was like, yeah. So we do.
Yeah.
We sell it out. Now we have to finish the movie. She got to see the final cut the day before.
What have I done? Oh my God.
And I was like, did you see it? And she's like, yeah, it was good. Like that was wasn't her humor. I'm sure it's very crass and outdated.
Could have done without Rocco coming all over that person in the back of the porn booth, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Oh my God. So we're excited.
Link to the film in the show notes.
It's just one shot.
We sell out. We do really good. I end up meeting who's to become Manny's future partner
Mhm.
throughout the festival thing, and we introduced them.
She was volunteering for.
Yeah, at the festival.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I take all the
Credit.
credit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I met her 10 years ago on the 30th.
yeah. Because there was somebody like being creepy around her, and she's like, "Excuse me, I saw you work your filmmaker here." I was like, "Yeah, she's kind of Korean," and we're talking.
He's right here.
And then
I was in the movie. You see me in the closet?
and then and she was leaving and she had to go down and I was like, I can give you a ride like down there. And she's like, all right. And so I give her a ride to her. She's like, all right, I'll see you at the event. It's cool. So we saw her and she's like, hi. So I said, hi, no, it's Manny. And then I introduced him and I never saw Manny again. Anyway, it went off great.
Yeah.
We won the Audience Choice Award. We beat out a film with the chick from Ted Lasso was in the film we beat out.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, Juno Temple?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That's cool.
Audience choice award. I'm telling you, when it comes down to the judges, they fucking hate us, but the audience loves us.
I don't know about
He definitely did not like us.
People walked out.
So we're like, all right, cool. This is going to work. Everything's going to work.
Probably the scene with
You know what's funny is this is the point. It's like you're building it up and we're building a hoop dream story.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, he's like, and then they walked out. I'm like, dude.
One judge, just one judge.
This whole situation in a basement with two cameras.
I think that ends up fact of pride that people walked out. Like the fact they're like, dude, this is too extreme. Holy shit.
Well, there was one judge, and then the other person actually that walked out after the cocaine scene with the Dark Rider, only because
They want to
even though we gave proceeds of our money to that program, which is a rehabilitation program
That's
for
cool.
young recovering adolescents with substance abuse problems,
Yeah.
she probably was like, cool, we'll take the money, but I don't want to watch any more of this drug use on camera, which I get.
they're in the bathroom.
Even though,
Even the fuck out of that light before
I was going there.
I get the fuck out.
yeah.
Or-
I mean, if my dad didn't leave before the Jesus part, I think that he probably chuckled a little bit. Fast forward, Rocco is doing his thing, emailing people, and then he has a buddy that was in Scream.
No, he was in Scary
He was in
Movies.
Scary
Dave
Movie.
Sheridan, he played Doofy.
Right,
Yeah.
by Doofy. They get connected somehow. Rocco shares the movie. They go back and forth, and he knows someone who might want to invest in the movie so that we can put money into it, some good post, and then put it out there. Then we go through 6 months of negotiations of selling the movie, and then it falls flat. And then we just have this movie that we shot, we put our life force into for 2 years. It's just sitting there.
Just eggs in the basket, like, all right.
So we decided to put it on Vimeo.com, and like, that was it.
And the documentary's on YouTube.
You guys, you guys have each other. You guys got,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I was like, this is good, this works. But there was also always a missing component, so we were just adding things. And my whole goal was to have a team, and we were like slowly adding people. Like Bogo was our boss at Apple, and I knew that Bogo acted in the past. So when I befriended him, I was like, yeah, I'm going to come up with this movie. I think you should be in it. And I wasn't thinking about him for the Dark Rider initially. I was thinking about for one of the two leads.
right.
But the more I got to know him, I was like, he might be able to, maybe he's the one guy that we know that we don't have to like convince that the crazy shit that the character does in this movie is all just fun and games. And then he got it. And we have like really fun test footage of him, Pat, and Bogo in a car with green screen behind them, pretending to be driving and just saying ridiculous shit.
What the fuck was that all about? What the fuck was that all about?
Sending a message.
Was about sending a message. What
That if you
message?
tell somebody what they can't
That if
do,
you tell people
there are
what they can't do,
consequences.
there are
This is America, damn
consequences.
it.
You were selling them drugs.
I was
I was
giving
getting
it to them as a
them
supplement.
as a supplement.
You can't get hooked on a
just a
little
little
bit.
bit.
Don't believe everything you read online.
That's what it's like, all right, so I'm going to dress like a woman. You're going to go down. And I was like, all right, let's do it. let's party.
I like Bogo. He came to my house and he worked on that voice for like hours. We tried all these different voices. He was like, that at one point, he's like, what if the Dark Rider was like this the whole time? And like, just all this shit. But once he put the mask on, it was so hard not to do
Yeah.
that.
Let's go to that one movie. It's fuck. It's like snorting cocaine. You're like, okay.
Standout performance. And after watching it, I remember saying to you, like, who is that guy?
I do believe
He quit everything to pursue acting.
yeah, after that movie, yeah.
And it was like, I mean, he wasn't my manager, but he was like a manager at Apple.
He was one of mine, yeah.
Yeah, if you take credit for Corinne, you can take credit for Bogo at that.
I take credit for Bogo. So despite what you think of our first film, 28-minute epic,
which you'll never watch.
which we will watch
or
on Vimeo.com, I think that what we did do is create one of the funniest villains of all time. If you ever watch our film,
Go to the show notes, click it. I'd watch it.
Look.
I think it's fantastic.
just watch it. You watch a movie of guys just trying to get something done and trying to make sure that they can tell the story with very limited resources and very limited money. And I'm proud of it. But I'm most proud of that, the fact that we were able to create a character that when enough people are exposed to this character, it's somebody that will be quoted time and time again. So
You'll want to see a sequel of just him.
yeah. Or a prequel.
Yeah.
Or just remake the movie. What budget do you have? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I want to send space. Sure, produce
So-
whatever the fuck.
We learned that we don't want to do a movie like that ever again because it's really hard. So we know that moving forward, we want to make a movie with actual funding and money. So,
So then that worked. Now we're here. Bye. See you next week.
And look at where we are now.
look, that's to say that even though we already made a feature film and it didn't directly lead us to the path that we want to be on, we're here now.
You know, in GianCarlo's mansion.
Estate.
This is actually a yacht.
We're moving.
Whoa.
We're on our way to his
I'm getting seasick.
We're on his way to his island.
This boat has a wall.
And we're going to make another fucking movie because we love making movies. Because all this time since 2011, when we started this path, we've continued creating things, both
Yes.
in film and music and comics and documentary and animation and art direction and advertising. And it's only made us better. So now we want to put it all together and make.
Failure teaches you a lot of things. It makes you better. It makes you deeper and darker and more intricate and keep going. What is it? Gorilla Ocho Films, DIY or die?
That's right. Gorilla. That's the new one. Gorilla Ocho Films, DIY or die.
Gorilla Ocho Films, DIY or die.
But if you want to help us with that, you want to do DIY all of it. But you want to give us a budget.
So we've always done it ourselves.
Yeah, someone's watching this and who's a millionaire is like, I'm gonna fund their next project.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I guess in this episode was more about.
And she already did that.
This episode is more about us kind of just digging into our past and making sure we don't make the mistakes of the past and see how we learn from.
Yeah, cookie script update. How's that go?
Well, hold on. So my take on that is just as a complete edit point. So yeah, I think it's a great film, but also if you didn't make that, you would have. You kept writing, you kept producing. Pursuing music and film. Because of that film, it got you into Blizzard Entertainment, which we could talk about in the future episode. It got you that film. Not only did it teach you what works and doesn't work, but also it's a lot of people would have just quit right after that. And the fact that none of you guys quit is real, because that's the thing. Once you quit, then you're dead. You keep going and go.
Yeah, I think if anything, it made us want to do more. Because when we met. You're like, you working on anything? And it was like, I remember you used to love to get soup all the time. Remember at Blizzard? You were like, I'm going to go get a soup. You want to come get a soup? Yeah. It was like my first week. And you're working on anything? I was like, yeah, we just shot this short film about a guy who keeps trying to kill himself. Yep. We can't get it right. It's called Poorly Executed.
It's a comedy.
And you fucking, and I said, it's a comedy. And you turned and you looked at me and you started cracking up. And you're like, say that again. And I said it again. You're like, yeah, we're going to get along. Let's go get some soup.
It's weird what you think is normal, because I talk to people about that, on set, and they're like, you just keep making shit? It's like, yeah, you don't? And he's like, no, we don't fucking do that. It's like,
I find it amazing when I'm on a film set and people aren't trying to become Steven Spielberg or Kevin Smith. Like, I find it fascinating that some people are like, again, I have such respect for them because, sound technicians, grips, that's their job. Maybe they're blessed with not have any aspirations beyond that. But when I find people like you freaks, I'm like, oh no, I got to hang out with those guys. Where
I remember I had that point since we're talking about how we all met, because you met GianCarlo first, then you met Manny, you've been working at Blizzard. I met you.
I met first.
You met, really?
I was working there, but I wasn't in
We went
for a while.
show up at 8:00.
Oh, okay.
No one would be there.
So you met him and he met him. I remember I met Coop, and then I was like, okay, he seems like, wow, okay, guy. Now, doing a meet, yeah, I know, he's a sick bastard.
Also, we were connected through FJ, which was weird.
Yeah, that's a whole other case.
Hey, FJ, his quote was, watch your wallet.
Hey, Rocky. Yeah, so we're doing this thing for Major League Gaming, which is basically a bunch of 15-year-olds play, and they get fucking play video games, and they drink Diet Red Bull, whatever the fuck. Anyway, so we're doing that. And I look over at Coop and he's writing something. He's taking notes. He's drawing the fucking Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos. And I was like, okay, I could talk.
Oh, you had that little notepad. You can't draw that.
I'm like, what is he writing? And he's like, see, it's the Soul Stone. I was like, I think I like this guy. So yeah, that was
in a meeting that he should have been taking notes, by the way.
That's when the Ninja Turtles were formed.
And that's
why I went, he's gone.
And that's why we're on my yacht now.
Oh, I feel sick. Not from the choices I made from the boat.
Maybe a little both.
Little bit of both.
Yeah. That's what I've learned. I've learned that everything's made in pre-production. It really is. The more time you have to develop something and massage it, the easier it is to be creative on set because you already have a plan.
And that's what, again, bring it back to why we're doing this podcast is because I always feel like we're lucky because, again, 10 years ago when, DaVinci Resolve was not a editing system. It didn't have, and so just quick commercial for Grant Petty. It's like DaVinci Resolve is like that tracking shot with the picture. Now you can do it in an afternoon where I'm sure you tried in Adobe After Effects 30 different times to try to get it to nail that track. And I find more and more like the technology catches up to what our vision is. Now we can knock out. I'm sure if you did make really, so if you'd make 28 all over again, because you've done it once before, you'd nail it. And so whether it's some of another film we made with Smoking Cookies, great learning experience. But again, now we know the tools even more, where we shoot things like on a freaking iPhone, where usually we didn't have access to certain cameras, certain technology. And so that's another reason why, that's why we want to, eventually we're going to start having other people outside our little Ninja Turtle group. So
Those machines, people, those machines.
Yeah.
I'll say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. But I read in Saga that apparently that's just practice. I've always like heard that as like a thing, and then recently I read that in Saga, and it was in reference to someone like practicing guitar, and like there's two adults and they're arguing like you're being too hard on her, and it's like, no, like you have to foster their creativity and all that kind of stuff, and they're going back and forth, and they brought up that point where it's like the definition of insanity or whatever, and she's like, that's practice, that's all that is.
I was going to cite one of my favorite films is Groundhog Day, and I forgot what is he. He's in there for like, is he in there for like 10,000 years or something?
You never say it, but yeah, the kind of festival.
And so I'm sure every day was just incremental change to make him a perfect person in his version. And so with that, I mean, 28. We could go into some of my big failure films as well, which would be not too much, but just a little bit.
That'll be the whole next episode.
Yeah. So I mean,
I went from 28 to doing a poorly executed short film, and then we did the short film Milk and Cookies with Coop.
That's how we met Coop. That's gonna be another day. We'll talk about that.
And
then
we tried to do Hollywood, New Jersey as a.
That's a whole other thing.
There's 19 versions of Hollywood, New Jersey.
There's a clip of my ass hanging out somewhere on Instagram, I'm pretty sure.
And that wasn't even part of anything.
You were wearing a leather jacket, weren't you?
Just that.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever posted that.
I think that was my band.
That was
My band was the initial.
That was pre-Hollywood, New Jersey.
Yeah,
That was the initial Hollywood, New Jersey.
There's like 4 versions of this.
I'll send it to you. There's like in the old Instagram, I think, like there's just a picture.
You actually posted that?
It's there. It's just he opens the door. Whoever's playing the camera opens the door.
Yeah.
And I'm just butt naked wearing a leather jacket. And then I'm like, follow me in. As the camera follows me in, I'm not wearing any pants. And we just go all the way downstairs.
You were trying to have your character basically be like a up and coming Jared Leto.
But I couldn't pick an accent. So like in the middle of the camera, like the office style camera, Rocco's off camera. He's like, would you pick a fucking accent and stick with it? And
I just seems in my mind like I wish 28 works instead of looking at John's cock.
At Manny's mom's house.
Yeah. Well, just remember what Tyler Durden said. He said self-improvement is masturbation.
That's true.
That's the end of episode 3.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
Can we talk about how like in the 90s it was all like single parent type situations?
No, see you next week.
Just up getting back from work now. Cash in a pocket, but it feels like we're selling out. And every job we take makes us less creative. How are we supposed to make it? Will someone please help us out? It's when it makes me quiver or shiver. I can't deliver quicker than the liquor hitting my liver. Why do I want Snickers? They say we can't make it, we'll fake it until we break it, shaking out the industries. Until then, the weddings pay us. Wouldn't have to wear earmuffs in Hollywood. But if we never make it, doesn't mean that we're no good. Wouldn't have to wear earmuffs in Hollywood. But if we never make it, doesn't mean that we're no good. make it, fake it, till we break it, shaking up the industries. Until then, the weddings pay us. These are most of shit, we quiver, I can't live quicker than the liquor hitting my liver. They say we can't make it, we fake it, till we break it, shaking up the industries. Until then, the weddings pay us. These are most of shit, we quiver, I can't live quicker than the liquor hitting my liver. They say we can't make it, we fake it, till we break it, shaking up the industries. Until then.